There are various reasons that can lead to an employee's dismissal from the workplace, and these are clearly outlined and explained in the Employment Act 2007 Kenya. This act explains both fair and unfair dismissals at the workplace. Welcome once again to the channel. This is Mildred. Today we shall look at some of the 9 dismissals that are considered unfair by this act. When a female employee is pregnant, she is entitled to 3 months maternity leave. Some business owners or employers may decide to terminate her employment at the mention of a pregnancy to avoid incurring additional employment costs. This is because the woman will continue earning her salary during this leave, and the employer may have to pay an additional salary to her replacement. Apart from this, there is the cost of training this replacement. These are business costs which the employer should be ready to meet should such incidences occur and must plan for it. Please note, it is unfair to terminate your employee as a result of being pregnant or for any other reason that may be related to her pregnancy. Employees are entitled to at least 21 leave days annually. If an employee plans to go on leave at a certain time, they should be authorized to go by their supervisor, and there are procedures that guide this process in any organization. A good work relation will ensure that the pending work is covered during their absence. It is considered unfair if a business owner or an employer terminates the services of an employee who has gone on their entitled leave days. Employees can freely join a registered trade union of their choice. Therefore, should one of your employees decide to join a union, the business owner or employer should not prevent them from joining. It is their right to join a registered union as long as they follow the right processes. Dismissing an employee for joining a registered trade union is considered unfair. An employee who is a member of a trade union may decide to participate in some of its activities. These are often done outside of work hours, but sometimes within working hours, but with the consent of the employer. Terminating the services of an employee for taking part in such activities is considered unfair. Members of a trade union are employees from different organizations. The unions have positions of leadership, and an employee may be involved by seeking a position in the leadership office. An employee who is a member of a union may participate in the following ways. They could be selected to act or could have acted in the position of an officer or employee representative in the union. Therefore, terminating the employment of such an employee by a business owner or employer is considered unfair, as stated in this act. Employees have the freedom of choice and can choose not to join a trade union or withdraw from one. Therefore, terminating an employee for making any of these choices is considered unfair by this act. No employer or business owner should terminate an employee's services because of their tribe, religion, race, sex, HIV status, or even disability. Terminating an employee based on these issues that are clearly listed in the Employment Act is considered unfair. Initiating a complaint against your employer or other legal proceedings should not be a reason for termination, except where the complaint is shown to be irresponsible and without foundation. No employer or business owner should terminate the services of a unionized employee who participates in a lawful strike. These 9 reasons are clearly outlined in the Employment Act and should not be used to punish, discipline, or terminate an employee's services. The Employment Act is a living document and will continue to be amended as the world of work keeps evolving. Good human resource practices that involves respectful work relationship by both employee and employer looks at different angles before ending this relationship. Termination is the last action to be considered in an employment relationship. This ends our tutorial today, and I hope you've learned something. Do not forget to comment in the description box below and share with others. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.